Today's lesson is Michelle Yeoh breaking the glass ceiling. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
Hello, I'm Kiki.
And a couple of months ago, you may have been watching the Oscars, in which Michelle Yeoh won the distinction for being the best actress. She won the Oscar for that, and people are probably still talking about her and the movie she starred in. And Michelle Yeoh is who we're going to be talking about today. She is breaking the glass ceiling.
Right. And I think Michelle Yeoh is a really iconic actress because she is a great representation of Asian faces in Hollywood today. And that relates to what we're talking about, breaking the glass ceiling. So let's listen to the first part of today's article.
Michelle Yeoh, breaking the glass ceiling. With a career spanning nearly 4 decades, Michelle Yeoh has long been known for her commanding on-screen presence and incredible dedication to her craft. But in March 2023, the 60-year-old Malaysian actress reached new heights when she became the first Asian woman to win Best Actress at the Academy Awards.
大家好，我们来看第一部分中的单字 span。它是动词，指的是横跨或是持续一段时间。例如 The company's career spanned 5 decades. 该公司的事业持续了50年。又或者说 This bridge spanned the river gorge. 这座桥横跨那条河川峡谷。下一个我们来介绍名词 craft. 它的意思是需要特别技艺的工作或活动，尤其是说制作东西的手工艺或是技术。例如Pam wants to learn the craft of basket weaving. Pam 想学编篮子的手艺。又或者说 Larry bought some special art paper at a craft store. Larry 在一间手工艺品店买了一些特别的美术用纸。
Okay, so in the title here, we've got the term the glass ceiling. And basically, that just means that people can't advance because there's this glass ceiling above them. They can't get through it, but they can see what's up there. They're just not welcome up there. So in any time when we talk about breaking the glass ceiling, we're talking about breaking traditions, and people who were usually kept on the lower floors can now be on the upper floors.
With a career spanning nearly 4 decades, Michelle Yeoh has long been known for her commanding on-screen presence and incredible dedication to her craft.
Exactly. So she has had a very long career, and we've got the verb to span here. And to span just means to extend over a certain distance or to extend over a certain amount of time. So basically, her career has lasted for 4 decades, nearly 4 decades, almost 40 years. And she has this career which has gone on for so long. She has long been known for her commanding on-screen presence and incredible dedication to her craft. So these are some characteristics that she has. She has a commanding on-screen presence. Okay, if you're commanding, of course, you look like you're in charge, you know what you're doing, and people pay a lot of attention to you. And this is her presence, or how she appears on screen. She's not just a delicate little office flower bringing coffee to all the business executives. She's actually in leading roles and very strong roles. And of course, she's also known for her incredible dedication to her craft. If you have dedication, that means you don't give up on that thing. It's very important for you, and you keep on going.
And we see her dedication of her craft because in a lot of her films, she's in a lot of action movies. So that means she has to spend a lot of time training and practicing all these different martial arts moves. And that's her dedication to her craft. So when somebody has a craft, it's your acting or the skill that you want to build up on. So in her case, it's her acting and also her martial arts style. And a craft can be anything that represents your skill. You can practice your craft of singing. That's a type of craft. And it showed her dedication through all the hard work she's put into it.
Right, your craft, a special skill that you have that you arrive through a lot of training and talent and things like that. That reminds me of the term arts and crafts. Sometimes classes are available in the arts and crafts. You can go take a painting class or a sculpture class, or you can learn knitting or macrame or gardening. Those are all different kinds of crafts that you could learn in a certain kind of class. And here she's dedicated to her craft or her career. But in March 2023, the 60-year-old Malaysian actress reached new heights when she became the first Asian woman to win the Best Actress Award at the Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars. And yes, indeed, this happened way back in March. And this sentence also tells us that she's 60 years old and she reached new heights. She became the first Asian woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress.
And this became a huge topic in a lot of Asian communities because it's amazing to see an Asian woman, an Asian face right up there in Hollywood. We know the Oscars is a huge deal. And to finally see that Asian representation, to finally see people that look like us on screen, and they represent the dreams and hopes of many Asians and what they want to do on a large global scale, letting people believe that they can do anything they want to achieve.
Right. It's very difficult for me to recall any leading people or any strong roles for Asians in the past. And so this is kind of a breakthrough role here. And of course, we'll probably see more such roles in the future. She's kind of opened the door for other Asian actors to be successful in Hollywood and elsewhere. And that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. It's time now to move on to the second part.
For many, the accomplishment was a victory for an entire community. Tonight, we freaking broke that glass ceiling. I kung-fu'd it out and shattered it, Yo told reporters after the ceremony, dedicating her win to the Asian community and anyone who has ever been identified as a minority. Yo's choice of words pulled double duty, acting as a nod toward her impressive martial arts and stunt action skills.
第二部分我们看到名词 accomplishment， 它的意思是成就、造诣、技能或是完成。例如 Winning a gold medal at the Olympics was Olaf's greatest accomplishment. 赢得一面奥运金牌是 Olaf 最大的成就。另外补充这个字的动词 accomplish， 也就是去掉字尾 ment， 它的意思是达成或是实现。例如 If you work very hard, you can accomplish almost anything. 如果你非常努力，几乎任何事情都可以达成。又或者说Alan works very hard to accomplish the goals that he sets for himself. Alan 很努力想达到他为自己设定的目标。下一个介绍名词 community， 这个字的意思是群体或是社区。例如 People that live on the small island are a very peaceful community. 住在这个小岛上的人们是一个非常和平的群体。或是 Every summer, the community has a fair and donates the money to a children's home. 每年夏天，这个社区都会举办义卖会，并把钱捐赠给儿童之家。再来，我们看到动词 shatter， 它的意思是使破碎或是粉碎。例如 The glass shattered when Kelly struck the window with her fist. Kelly 用拳头敲击窗户时，玻璃整个破碎了。又或者说 Copernicus shattered the belief that Earth was the center of the universe. 哥白尼粉碎了地球是宇宙中心的看法。下一个我们看到单字 ceremony， 这个名词的意思是典礼或是仪式。例如 Guests began to arrive about an hour before the ceremony. 宾客在典礼的1个小时前开始陆续抵达。或是 My graduation ceremony was held on Saturday. 我的毕业典礼在星期六举行。
Okay, so for many people here it says the accomplishment was a victory for an entire community. Now, an accomplishment is when you accomplish something. To accomplish means to achieve something successfully, so an accomplishment is something that you get when you are successful. So her accomplishment here was to win the Oscar for Best Actress for her role in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, which I haven't had the chance to see yet, but you did see this movie, right, Kiki?
Yes, I did. And I think it's a really important movie for everyone to watch because I think not only is it funny and action-packed, but it actually has a lot of very meaningful stories and lessons behind it that I think everyone can take out of it.
Gee, I'd like to see it in the theater before it's too late. But in any case, back to the second part of our lesson for today, Michelle Yeoh's winning the Academy Award for Best Actress is an accomplishment and a victory for an entire community. A community can mean all sorts of things. It could refer to the area where you live and your neighborhood. That could be your local community. Like if you live in Borough Park, Brooklyn or something, that could be your community. But in this particular case, we're talking about the Asian community. And of course, it's a victory for them as well, and more roles will be coming for them in the future.
Yes, we did notice that for Asian communities worldwide, it didn't matter if you were Chinese speakers, Vietnamese speakers, everyone was talking about this nomination and this win for Michelle Yeoh. So clearly, this win was very important for the Asian community. And the next part, we see something that Michelle Yeoh commented on. She says, "Tonight, we freaking broke that glass ceiling. I kung-fu'd it out and shattered it." So Michelle Yeoh, she told reporters after the ceremony dedicating her win to the Asian community and anyone who has ever been identified as a minority.
Right, so she says, we freaking broke the glass ceiling. And she says, I kung-fu'd it out and shattered it. Kung fu, of course, refers to gong fu, which is a martial art. And in English, it's often pronounced as kung fu. Here, she's kind of making this phrase up herself. She's using it as a verb phrase. She kung-fu'd it, or she used this martial art to break that glass ceiling, and then she shattered it. Here we've got the verb to shatter, and that's what happens when a piece of glass breaks into many different pieces. It usually refers to glass. It could refer to other things, but most of the time it refers to something made of glass, like bottles shattered on the floor after the earthquake.
And sometimes you can also shatter somebody's illusion of someone. For example, you might see a very handsome Korean K-pop star, and then the moment they open their mouth and they start talking in a really high, squeaky voice, it shatters the illusion.
Indeed, or maybe somebody came into your office and started working much harder than you, and they got promotions much faster than you, and your confidence was shattered, and you had to figure out a way to pick up the pieces and start all over again. So she shattered that glass ceiling, that's what she said. And that's what she said after the ceremony, and she was dedicating her win to the Asian community and anyone who has ever been identified as a minority. Of course, the Oscars, or the Academy Awards, are a kind of ceremony, which is a formal occasion in which somebody is recognized for something, or somebody has something performed, like a wedding ceremony, or a bar mitzvah, or a graduation. Those, of course, are all formal ceremonies. And this, of course, is referring to the Oscars. And she dedicated her win to the Asian community. If you dedicate something to someone, you say it's for them in recognition of your respect for them.
Yes, it might not literally be for them, but it's trying to express that the action of this, for example, in this case, Michelle Yeoh, her winning this Oscar, she really wanted to show her appreciation. So she's dedicating it to everyone in the community, because we know that she can't literally, or she can't actually give this award to every single Asian person out there. But the sentiment, or this feeling and this meaning behind this win, she dedicates to everyone in the community. And she goes on to say, as well as anyone who has ever been identified as a minority. Because we know that in Hollywood, many times if you are a person of color, you don't have necessarily the same opportunities as certain actors. And when you are identified as a minority, that means you are labeled a certain group. So nowadays, identify can also be used in many different ways, like how a person identifies their gender or how they identify with who they want to become.
Yep, how they recognize themselves or how they picture themselves when compared to the rest of society. And of course, in the USA, Asians are a minority, so a lot of people will identify as Japanese American, Chinese American, etc., where the majority would be white people, Caucasians. And Yo's choice of words pulled double duty, acting as a nod toward her impressive martial arts and stunt action skills. So this is her choice of words. She broke the glass ceiling and she kung fu'd it out and shattered it. So that is referencing her skills as a martial artist. So we're saying her choice of words pulled double duty, or they had two meanings there. If you do pull double duty, that means you're playing two roles at the same time. And of course, she was talking about breaking the glass ceiling, but she was also mentioning that, hey, I'm pretty cool when it comes to the martial arts.
So here we see the word martial, and usually martial, it means something to do with the army or something that is to do with combat. And in this case, martial arts put together is talking about, like, for example, kung fu or karate or taekwondo. Those are different forms of martial arts.
Indeed, and of course she also had the stunt action skills. So if you're starring in action movies, of course you will perform stunts. If you're qualified, I think that Jackie Chan performed his own stunts, and Tom Cruise is known for performing his own stunts, but most people have stunt doubles who perform their stunts for them, or those special physical feats that they have to perform, like falling out of a building or spinning in the air and stuff like that. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's move on now to the third part.
In fact, Yo's rise to fame began in the 1990s with her appearance in a string of Hong Kong action films for which she performed her own stunts. After moving to the US, Yo received considerable recognition for starring in Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997, but her breakout role was in Ang Lee's martial arts film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 2000. Yo's performance was so well received that she was nominated for the BAFTA Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Since then, Yo has gone from strength to strength.
最后第三部分，我们看到单字 recognition， 它是名词，指的是认可、赞赏、承认或是识别。例如 Employees who get no recognition for their hard work often leave the companies they work for. 那些努力工作却没得到认可的员工，通常会离开他们所效力的公司。又或者说 Cole's paintings won him recognition in the art community. Cole 的绘画创作为他赢得艺术群体的认可。
Okay, in the third part, we're talking a little bit about Michelle Yeoh's film career. In fact, Yeoh's rise to fame began in the 1990s with her appearance in a string of Hong Kong action films for which she performed her own stunts. So Hong Kong is known for action films, and of course there are lots of Hong Kong stars that we all know and love here in Taiwan, like Jackie Chan and Zhou Renfa and people like that. And she performed in some of those films, and she performed her own stunts because she was skilled in the martial arts. She did not need a stunt person.
After moving to the U.S., Yo received considerable recognition for starring in Tomorrow Never Dies, which I believe is a movie with Pierce Brosnan.
Yes, indeed. That was a 007 movie or a James Bond movie.
But her breakout role was in Ang Lee's martial arts film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So her breakout role, which is the role or the character that she played that made her famous, that made her really famous, Oscars, and that's when you break out, is being recognized that that role was very important in her acting career.
Indeed, and that movie was quite famous over 20 years ago. It's been that long. Interesting. And Yeoh's performance was so well received that she was nominated for the BAFTA Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role. So she was nominated as a possible winner of that award. If you're nominated, that means somebody mentioned your name as a possible winner. She did not win, but still, that's quite an honor to be nominated. And that is one other kind of awards ceremony, the BAFTA Awards. And of course, she was nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role. So that's pretty significant for her. She was actually a main actress in that film.
So the BAFTA Awards is the British Academy Film Awards. And that's basically the UK equivalent of the Academy or the Oscars.
Exactly. And then the last sentence here says, since that time, Yeoh has gone from strength to strength, which means that she's been quite strong in her roles and playing leading roles all throughout that time. And strength, of course, just refers to how strong you are. So I guess she's had other successes in the film industry since that time, and then they all culminated in her winning the Oscar earlier this year.
And that comes to the end of today's article about Michelle Yeoh. Let's listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第3部分提到，杨紫琼于1990年代在一连串香港动作片中亲自上阵表演特技而开始走红。那么文中是用到 Yeoh's rise to fame began ... 来表达她开始走红。那么 rise 在这边是当名词，表达说达到更高的身份啊、地位等等。之后可以用 to 去搭配不同的名词，像是 fame 名声名望， power 权力， prominence 显著卓越或是杰出， popularity 受欢迎等等。好，那用 rise to 搭配这些名词，我们就可以表达出像成名啊、大权在握、走红之类的语义。好，另外 rise 当动词呢，我们也可以用到 rise to fame 去表达成名、出名的意思。举例来说， The actor got the lead role in the movie and rose to instant fame. 那位演员在电影中饰演主角，一戏成名。好，那除了 rise to fame， 还可以用 shoot to fame 或者是 rocket to fame。那么 rocket 在这边就是当动词来表达快速上升或者是移动，它就带有快速窜起或是迅速成功的意思。好，那我们看个例句。 The singer rocketed to fame after her album sold 1 million copies. 那位歌手的专辑卖出100万张后就快速窜红。好，那同样在课文第3部分，他提到说杨紫琼的突破角色是在李安的武侠片《卧虎藏龙》当中。那么文中用到 breakout role， 这在电影界通常就是指突破性的角色，也就是演员因为该角色而知名度大开，或者是这个角色对他的事业产生了关键性的影响。那在这个用法当中， breakout 是摆在名词的前方做修饰，去表达突破的，使什么突然大获成功的。不过啊 breakout 也可以当可数名词来指越狱，尤其是指集体越狱。好，那现在我们把 break 跟 out 交换位置，变成 outbreak， 那就表示爆发，突然发生，可能像是疾病啊、战争等等的爆发。接着我们再把这个 break 跟 out 拆开来，变成片语 break out， 它则有几种不同的意思哦。我们来看第一个意思， break out 它可以指说突然发生或是爆发，这通常是指呢不愉快的事情突然发生。举例来说， A fight broke out at the bar last night. 昨晚那间酒吧里突然发生一场打斗。第二个呢，我们可以用 break out 去表达逃脱、越狱，那后面常常会搭配介系词 of。break out of 加上名词，则可以表达说是逃离某处啊，或者是某个处境。举例来说， break out of the jail 就是逃狱， break out of poverty 则可以表达脱离贫困的意思。 第三个，我们可以用 break out 去表达，可能像是疹子啊、痘痘啊，或者是汗水等等突然冒出来。那我们常常是用 break out 加上 in 再加症状，通常是皮肤方面的症状啦，像可能可以用 hives 荨麻疹、a rash 疹子，或者是 a sweat 一身汗。举例来说 ，He broke out in a rash all over his body， 就是他全身起疹子。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Craft. As a carpenter, John takes pride in his craft and works hard to ensure that every piece he creates is of the highest quality. Accomplishment. Cynthia knew that winning the championship would be her greatest accomplishment. Community. Paula made many friends in her town's music community as she began playing shows. Shatter. The baseball hit the window with such force that it shattered the glass. Ceremony. The students made plans to celebrate after the graduation ceremony. Dedicate. To honor his mother's encouragement of his writing, the author dedicated his novel to her. Identify.
The witness identified the suspect as the person who had robbed her.
Recognition. The professor received significant recognition for his many amazing inventions.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Kiki.
See you next time.